So here we go again. We are tracking a round of some strong to severe storms that are just out to the west of us. In fact, a confirmed tornado on the ground just to the east of Evansville. So we're just waiting for our stream to get up on our WHS 11 app, and we will be going. So thanks for standing by here for just a moment. And we're going to tour the radar again. We've got some strong thunderstorms moving into Du Bois County. If you don't know where that's at, it's about 50 miles out to the west of Louisville. So we have some very strong thunderstorms that have moved through the Evansville area and heading our direction. I don't think they'll impact the entire viewing area, but here over the next several hours, getting a little bit busy. And hopefully the storms that we had earlier today will certainly make a difference in hopefully weakening them a bit as they approach, but still very strong, as you can see out to the west. I'll take off the lightning so you can see all that heavy rainfall. And there is a purple warning, and that is a confirmed tornado on the ground just off to the east of Evansville right now. So again, just momentarily stick with us, and we'll get going, tracking our latest round of strong to severe storms. And just back to radar. These are moving southeast around 35, 40 miles per hour. And so heads up here first off. Well, obviously heading through the Jasper area now, and Du Bois, just stay put inside as they move through your area if you do get a warning. Okay, we are live and going. I am Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine in our WHS 11 Weather Impact Team Weather Center here at the WHS 11 studios at 7:52. It is July 30th. We had a round of severe weather overnight I was here for, a round of severe weather I was here for early this afternoon. It looks like round 3 within a 24-hour period. We were just in a very active weather pattern. It is hot and it is disturbed. We have the muggy weather, tropical environment, and we're just too close to this northwest flow and these disturbances that are riding along it. If we could get this ridge of high pressure over the top of us, we would have no storms whatsoever. But we're kind of on this storm highway for the next several days. So that's going to continue to give us these weather impact alert days. So let's get to the track of these very strong thunderstorms, which we'll just give you some perspective first. So if you're near downtown Louisville, these storms are about 50 miles out to the west. Crawford County, about 40 miles out to the west of us if you're in Louisville. And then the confirmed tornado on the ground is about 70 miles out to the west of Louisville. Now, if you're in Hardinsburg, that confirmed tornado on the ground is only about 30 miles out to the west of you. Our hope is that the storm that produced the confirmed tornado will weaken, but it is still packing a punch. So if you're familiar with Tell City, Grandview, some areas along the Ohio River here, we're looking at 80-mile-per-hour winds, so very, very strong. It looks to me like the tornado threat has gone down within that area east of Evansville, but it's a straight line wind threat now. I'm not seeing a tornadic signature with that, so I hope that that tornado warning will go away and it'll just be a severe thunderstorm warning. But that entire area does have a severe thunderstorm warning along it. So that's going to go into Perry County. If that storm holds together, heads up once again for you guys in Meade County, around Brandenburg, Breckenridge, Hardinsburg. You guys had some spotty damage earlier this afternoon in the form of some tree and some power line damage. So let me go ahead and put a track on this. Generally, it is moving to the southeast at about 40 miles per hour. So again, this is betting that it holds together. Upper left-hand corner of your screen there is some of the time frames here into the English area in just a few minutes there in Crawford County in Indiana. Leavenworth, right on the river at 8:15 Eastern Time. Hardinsburg, there in Breckenridge County, 7:40 Central. That's going to be 8:40 Eastern Time. Into Fort Knox at around 9 o'clock, and into Elizabethtown as we approach 9:30. Again, we are hoping that the air was worked over a bit, churned over, made more stable from the earlier storms, and that these storms will weaken as they move maybe a county or two into the WHS 11 viewing area. And then as we lose some more daytime heating as we head towards sunset here in about an hour, we continue to lose the unstable air. It becomes more stable, and hopefully these storms will be on a weakening trend. Obviously, they're still pretty strong right now as we are tracking them out to the west. I'll put on a lightning counter. Always interesting to see these powerful thunderstorms in the summertime and how much lightning they can pack. So this cluster of storms has almost 5,000 lightning strikes in the last half hour. It is continuous cloud-to-ground lightning, and of course that can be dangerous. So as the old saying goes, when the thunder roars, head indoors. All right, so we are tracking these strong thunderstorms. Like the storms earlier today, they bypassed a lot of southern Indiana. So it looks like on this track, I would say these areas will be the least affected by the storms. Because you can see, just like me, that it's going to be these areas that will be most affected by the storms. But those areas have been a little bit cooler after the storms earlier today. So again, our hope is for that weakening trend. Let me go ahead and put on Futurecast here. And it's actually picking up pretty well on where the storms are now. So this is the initialization here at 7:57 with the storms just out west of Hardinsburg. It might be a few miles ahead. And there are always going to be these clusters that jump out ahead of the line, the kind of broken, ragged line, and then some areas slow down. So you just kind of got to give and take on the prognosis here, the outlook as far as Futurecast. But it gives you a general idea of when the storms are going to be heading possibly into your area. So it looks like they hold together but do weaken, especially the northern half of it. As they approach I-65 here, this is over the next hour and a half or so. So if we back that up, approaching I-65 in Louisville, this is in about an hour. And then moving south of the parkways, south of the Bluegrass Parkway, east of I-65, that's around 10, 11 o'clock. So you're talking, as you approach 10 o'clock Bardstown, then you're out towards Springfield, Lebanon, Campbellsville, Greensburg, Columbia, Kentucky, 10, 11 o'clock, and then things really begin to settle down right after midnight. So I don't think we're going to have to deal with being, waking up to the lightning and thunder like we did last night. Tomorrow afternoon, very hot and humid, some more storm chances, and this pattern repeats itself as we head into our Thursday and our Thursday evening as well. So we're just in a very busy weather pattern. We've got these WHS 11 weather impact alert days for tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We don't have them for this weekend because we think the weather pattern will settle down this weekend. But the rest of our work week each day is going to feature these hot and humid days, and we're just in that storm highway zone. So right now, our dew points have actually gone down since the storms went through earlier today, in the 60s instead of the 70s. So the air is a little more stable over Louisville. So I would expect those storms to weaken as they approach downtown Louisville. Our feels like temperatures, the heat index, lower 80s. Really not too terrible out there. I just stepped out not that long ago. Let me go ahead and put up the current heat index values. Sorry for that blank screen right there. Let me go ahead and bring this up for you. So back to our heat index. The heat index has been the worst where we didn't have any storms. Up north, Scottsburg, Seymour, still low 90s. But then you've got, again, some rain-cooled air from earlier this afternoon in the 70s there in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, and Munfordville. So, again, that's some of the more stable air where these storms are moving toward. Looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. And we'll get back to radar here for you. Let's look at a slightly broader view, and then we'll zoom in closer and closer and closer. If you're just tuning in, I am Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine here for your WHS 11 weather impact team. We got your forecast. We're tracking, again, just rounds of storms. Very interesting here as we look at this broad view. We can still see the round that came through earlier today. It was coming in after around 1 o'clock. Those storms are now moving into northern Georgia, South Carolina, over the Appalachians. And then here's the second impulse or disturbance. And there's more up the line. So what's happening here is on the edge of a ridge of high pressure, and the overall flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere is like this. So we're getting these little disturbances, and each time they run into the muggy air, they are giving us a round of showers and thunderstorms. Zooming way in here. Okay, here's our issue. It looks like that tornado warning has been let to expire, thankfully, as expected. That was just east of Evansville. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings for southern Crawford County, all of Perry County in Indiana, and it bumps up to Breckinridge County. And again, the hope is we'll see these storms trend weaker and weaker. Let me go ahead and put a track on them once again, see if we can get some more towns to pop up here. We'll go at about 40 miles per hour, moving to the southeast in that direction. So heading toward Tell City, basically now. Next few minutes, going to be rocking and rolling right over your area. Very heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, gusty winds, possibly some damaging wind gusts. Heading into the Patesville area, 7:23 Central. These are almost all Central time. Hardinsburg, 7:40 Central, and to Fort Knox at 9 p.m. Same time frame we gave you earlier on that. And we'll see how this evolves. It might just kind of clip parts of Louisville if it holds together. But the trend is for most of it to impact areas south of Louisville. Heading towards Litchfield at 8:10 Central time. And these are prolific rainmakers. Let's put on the precip rates here. This is this swampy atmosphere that we have. In the heart of the storm, 2 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates. Thankfully, they're not sitting over the same place for an hour, or we would have more issues with flooding. That's the other thing we need to talk about. A lot of soil is saturated where we've had these rounds of showers and thunderstorms. So that is going to be a potential impact, is watching out for some very brief flash flooding events as these storms go over some of the same areas. Not seeing much hail as I put on the hail product. I'm just looking at the shear, which has gone down. That's kind of the rotation when it was east of Evansville. So this right here, if we look closely, this is where that confirmed tornado was. And when we put the radar back on, we have lost a lot of that rotation there east of Evansville as it's moved off to the east. Let's go back to velocity, see how strong the winds are still. So the worst of these winds, in excess of 60 miles per hour, are 40 miles west as the crow flies from Louisville. And from Hardinsburg, where you guys got hit hard earlier, this storm's about 20 to 30 miles off to the northwest of you guys. So that means it's moving at about 40. It's going to bring it in within the next half hour towards the Hardinsburg area. Now, when we query and click on the blue area, we change it blue, the color palette here, to when the winds are in excess of 60 miles per hour. So damaging straight line wind going to be possible with this line of storms. There you can see two kind of bow echoes, two kind of jets that are in these severe thunderstorms. So we're wanting that to continue to weaken as they move into our area. going back to here. And then I'm going to take a look outside, shall we? So that's actually, I want to kind of point the camera west, which I'll do here in a little bit. All right, so if you're just tuning in here, we are tracking another line of strong to severe storms. It's about 40 miles west of Louisville. It looks like it might clip parts of the city. I'm just looking at another monitor over here. But the biggest impacts look like it might be near Corydon again. I know you guys got hit earlier in Harrison County, Perry County, Meade, Breckenridge. If it holds together into Hardin County. But I'm betting that these storms will weaken minute by minute as they get into some more stable air. They got hit by the storms earlier today. But as promised, I am here watching it for you very closely. We do have some alert information at the bottom of our screen at WHS11. Got more information at WHS11.com. Get your WHS11 app where you get the notification that we're going to stream, or if there's alerts, free to do so, easy to do so at your app store. All right, so we've got a very large severe thunderstorm warning as we look here until 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time. And that's southern Crawford County, Perry County. Pretty good bet there's going to be some spotty damage, tree damage, power line damage. There are about 5,000 folks without power in LG&E, most of those south of Louisville, communities south of Louisville. So you can see with the motion of these storms, a lot of southern Indiana is going to be bypassed, is going to dodge the worst of these storms as they move to the southeast. It'll be interesting how close Louisville gets to any significant impacts, because if you kind of take a look here, looks like that edge is heading right there. So it might clip, Fort Knox, Valley Station, PRP if it holds together. And then the strong southern end, as we back this up, I'll clear these off. So we've got the northern end going here, and the southern end going here. So anywhere between those two red lines could have some damaging wind gusts here over the next hour. That would include Brandenburg, Hardinsburg, Elizabethtown, Litchfield, Fort Knox. I really think there's going to be a strong weakening trend once this moves towards Interstate 65, and maybe before that. Go ahead and put another track on it. Again, in case you're just tuning in here, might get some more towns that we didn't have on there earlier. And actually, we've had this moving at about 40 miles per hour. And so here's the leading edge of this kind of squall line. Look how ragged it was earlier. It's actually kind of gotten a little more organized and more of a line here with time. And actually, that's actually it can be a good thing to get rid of the tornadic threat when it becomes more linear. So we've got to move about 35, 40 miles per hour. We'll go 35. And we'll take it all the way down here. Heading towards Leavenworth, as we just said, basically now. Right on the top of the Ohio River, Hardinsburg, 7:44, Fort Knox, 9 o'clock to 9:10. Right around that time frame. We said 9 o'clock earlier, 9:10 now. It's going to be right around that time frame. Give or take. 9:30-ish, Elizabethtown, Bardstown, as we approach 10 p.m. Could have some of this rain heading your direction. I'm going to go zoom in a little bit closer, and then we'll probably get some more towns in here as we do a closer track. Okay, there we go, as promised. So all of these are going to be within the next hour, hour and a half. So here's your preparation, your heads up with our storm track heading to Leavenworth now, New Amsterdam, Titus, Mockport, Brandenburg, Irvington, and Elizabeth. I will clear that, and we'll do another one on the southern side Clear that one out. Move the camera. So there we go. Here over the next, again, hour, hour and a half. Hardinsburg, Irvington, Flaherty, Elizabethtown. Sometimes we get more information when we go not as far out. There's some more towns here for you. Patesville, Cloverport, Andyville, Hardinsburg, Brandenburg, Akron, Davidson. Heads up in your area with the potential of damaging wind gusts, very heavy rainfall, localized flooding, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. Let's take the broad look here. We had 4,900 lightning strikes last time I checked in these thunderstorms. And we're at 4,100. So maybe a slight weakening trend overall. Still very strong thunderstorms. And then we're going to go back to our our velocity mode, checking out the speed of the raindrop. Speed. As they head closer to the radar, you get better data. Still showing pockets of 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Pretty strong stuff. So you just want to stay inside as it moves through your area. And whose area are we talking about? There you can see, could be heading to Brandenburg here in the next half hour. Irvington, Hardinsburg, other parts of Breckinridge County. Big time heads up there. Maybe southern Harrison County. So that blue is not a good thing. That's where we could have winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Go ahead and clear that out. So what's the good news in all of this? Let's take a look at Futurecast. And Futurecast, along with my thinking, and I believe the National Weather Service as well, is that there will be some weakening as this approaches I-65. Still could have some strong winds. Don't want to downplay that as it heads towards Elizabethtown here over the next hour or so, hour and a half. And then all is done, it looks like, by midnight off to the southeast. So we should have a quiet night between rounds of showers and thunderstorms before tomorrow afternoon, hot and humid and more pop-up showers and thunderstorms. I'll go ahead and bring up the 7-day forecast before we kind of wrap things up. I just wanted to give you guys some preparation in advance of those storms moving in. So this is the 7-day. So we got 93 tomorrow. It's going to feel like around 100. We've got off and on storm chances tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, as we're just locked in this weather pattern, which is sometimes stormy, sometimes really, really hot and steamy. 97 Thursday. What would save us from 97 is if we get some afternoon storms. Obviously, anytime you get storms, it's going to cool parts of our area off. 92 Friday with some more storm chances. And then we're going to try to get some more stable, quieter conditions in here for Saturday, Sunday, less stormy, upper 80s, low 90s. Looking storm-free Monday, Tuesday, but still hot, 93 Monday, 95 Tuesday. As we head into our first weekend of August, it's going to feel like it. Summer, not in a hurry to go anywhere. Why would it? It's summertime all the way through, of course, till late September. Back to Max HD radar here at 8:14. I think we've been on here for a while. So there is still a severe thunderstorm warning for 15 more minutes for southern Crawford, Perry. So moving through the Tell City area now into the Big Bend area of Leavenworth. Got the Overlook Restaurant there. Very beautiful spot if you've never been there. Heading towards Leopold with these very strong winds. Check out our velocity product one more time. So thankfully we're not seeing really any rotation, straight line winds right now. We want to try to keep it that way. And we might, after I wrap this up, pop in and do another stream a little bit later on this evening. But here's kind of a final track for now, as this is heading towards, is on Leavenworth. We've been talking about you guys for a while now. Hardinsburg, 740-ish. So about a half hour heading through your area. Brandenburg, 8:50 Eastern time. So yeah, about half hour, 40 minutes. Fort Knox still around 9:15, about an hour. And Shepherdsville heads up there about 9:30, so about an hour. And then some other points around Interstate 65, and probably Elizabethtown too, about an hour and a half. Maybe clipping parts of Metro Louisville too in about an hour, hour and a half. In that amount of time, we're hoping that we'll see signs of continuing a weakening trend. Which it seems like we're going that direction. Okay, we'll wrap it up for now. We've given a lot of tracks, a lot of future cast here. It is 8:17 on this July 30th, 2024. Again, watching these storms off to the southwest of Louisville. Keeping an eye on it, WHS11.com, lots of resources there. Our WHS11 app, it's got the interactive radar right there for you as well, plus more forecast information, so thanks for grabbing that. On WHS11, the ABC station in Louisville, we've got information scrolling across the bottom of the screen too. So lots of ways to stay informed. Thanks for tuning in to our weather impact forecast here. I'm going to wrap it up for now. Again, I might pop back on, give you a notification if we're going to do another live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on our WHS11 app. So if alerts issued, seek shelter until it blows on by. Unfortunately, looks like we're going to stay pretty busy, and we might see a lot here over the next several days.